the exhibition is probably Dylan Thomas's writing sheets, because you can actually see his handwriting on pieces of paper, and you can see how he put together one of his poems. So I think that's probably my favourite thing in there. And I also like the suit. I don't know if any of your group saw the suit that Dylan Thomas wore, which is in the exhibition as well. I think that's a pretty special thing to have as well. Every time I see that, I imagine him wearing it and reading his poems. Yeah, well, the centre was actually opened by a former American president, Jimmy Carter, who came over in 1995, and he opened the centre officially. And there's a stone about that. There's a little plaque as you walk in through the door. So when you leave, you have to keep an eye out for that. And we also had the Irish president here in 2014 and the Welsh First Minister. And we've had a few celebrities as well, like Catherine Zeta-Jones. She came here with Michael Douglas, because they called their first child after Dylan Thomas. So we've had a bit of Hollywood sparkle here as well. So I think quite a few famous people like Dylan Thomas, so we always hope they come and visit us. I look after everything we do for Dylan Thomas here. So I look after the exhibition. We've got activities and events. We do all kinds of exciting workshops and sessions in this room here. So I look after all that side of things as well. We get school visits, and we get groups of people from America and all kinds of different places come in. So sometimes I welcome them and have a chat to them as well. So there are lots of different aspects to my job, and one of the best things about it is that every day is different, I think. He went to Swansea Grammar School. He went there from when he was 11, but he left when he was 16. He didn't stay on to sixth form like you're going to do, because he decided he was a bit bored with school, and he only left with one exam pass. But he used to write lots of poems instead of doing his work, I think. We open at 10 o'clock every morning. We're open every day. Yeah. We open at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we're open till 4:30 in the afternoon. So it's a nice long time for people to come in and visit then. We've got pictures of Dylan Thomas from when he was a little boy through to just before he died when he was 39 years old. And the amazing thing about Dylan Thomas is he looks so different in photos. Sometimes he's smiling, and when he smiles you can see that he didn't go to the dentist very often because he didn't have very good teeth at all. So in a lot of photos he's not smiling at all. And we've got photos of him reading his work, photos of him acting in plays, so we've got quite a few different ones that are on display in the exhibition there.
Dead in the city. Who set us up the films of our comrades? Who is to blame?
Oh, I think some of them are just incredibly valuable because they tell us so much about Dylan Thomas. I don't know what any of them would cost, because it all belongs to Swansea, it belongs to everyone who lives in Swansea. But we've got some really special things like things he wrote, things he wore, and we've even got the first watercolour painting that he did as well. So I think we've got some really unique items there. So I don't know that I can say which is the most expensive, because I'm not really sure. The building was built in the 1820s, so it's almost 200 years old. But it's only been the Dylan Thomas Centre since 1995. But I think it's one of my favourite buildings in Swansea. So it's one of the lovely old ones we've got that's still standing here. I think one of my best things is when I get to talk to groups like you and all the people who like Dylan Thomas, because we can talk about how much we like the things we see and the things we read about Dylan Thomas. So I think one of my favourite things is probably sharing all the things I'm enthusiastic about and all the things I like about Dylan Thomas. But the worst thing is probably there's just not enough time to do everything. So we do so many different things here. So sometimes I think, I haven't finished everything I need to do. There's more stuff to do. But best thing is probably talking to people and meeting other people. Yeah, we've got, well, it's the Easter holidays coming up soon, so we've got events on in this room every day which are all about Dylan Thomas. And it's all about how Dylan Thomas writes about spring, because we look at how his work fits in with the seasons and do all sorts of things, so people can come in and do all sorts of different activities all about how Dylan writes. And we've also got a guided tour of Dylan Swansea, and that's coming up in April as well. So it's kind of a bit like what you've been doing, about going to places associated with Dylan Thomas and finding out about them and the connection with them. So a few different things coming up here. Right, well the first thing is I think it's really important for everyone to know about Dylan Thomas because he was such an amazing writer, and he's possibly one of the most famous people to come out of Swansea as well. So it's important for all of us to know about our heritage and about people from Swansea, but he also brings people who don't live in Swansea into the place as well. So we get loads of tourists, lots of people from America and Japan coming here just because of Dylan Thomas. So it's a great way of bringing tourists to the city through Dylan Thomas. I really like what Dylan Thomas wrote because I think he wrote so many different things, and that's a really good question because I've been here, I've worked here for about 18 years now. I've been working here since before you were born. I know, it's bonkers, isn't it? So I must like his work to be here for that long. So I love his stories and his poems and his radio broadcasts, and the fact that you can listen to him reading his work as well, and also that it inspires other people to create their own writing as well. So yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, we do. We've got a couple of manuscripts that Dylan wrote himself. And so you can see where he was trying out his poem, and you can see where he's crossing out bits and rewriting bits and writing different lists of words. So those are in the exhibition in the little shed bit. So you might have seen them when you were going around just now. So those are some of my favourite things in the exhibition, I think.